The movie opens in a dark, dense forest where a young woman runs barefoot, screaming for her life. She is Emma Ward, a wealthy heiress desperately trying to escape. In her panic, she steps on shards of glass, wincing in pain but bravely pulling one out before continuing to run. Just as she reaches the road, she triggers a hidden trap that hoists her into the air. Crying for help, she grabs the glass shard and carves Emma alive into a nearby tree. The scene then cuts to a couple driving along a lonely road, Betty and a man known only as Driver. Betty is upset about having to move again and blames him for their situation, while he tries to lighten the mood. As night falls, they stop at a roadside motel to rest. At the reception, the man pays with his credit card, and the clerk comments that his name is rather unusual. Later, in their room, they watch a news report about a missing woman, Emma, the same one from the forest. The report says that investigators found the tree she marked, and that the carvings are about 6 months old. It's also revealed that Betty has a scar on her stomach, and her partner quietly apologizes to her. Meanwhile, on the other side of the story, a gang of robbers led by Hoag breaks into a luxurious house. In the middle of the heist, the homeowners return unexpectedly. The wealthy family's excitement about coming home quickly turns to terror when they see the robbers outside their house. The father tries to call the police, but before he can finish dialing, Flynn panics and opens fire, killing the entire family. Furious at the unnecessary bloodshed, Hoag shouts at Flynn for his stupidity. The gunshots inevitably draw attention, forcing the group to flee the scene before the police arrive. Back at the motel, Betty lounges in bed while her partner casually asks what she wants for dinner. Annoyed, she snaps that he should ask his other girlfriend instead. Later, the two head out to a cozy restaurant across from a gas station. Inside the restaurant, the couple is served by Amber, Hoag's daughter, who works there as a waitress. Moments later, Hoag and his gang also walk in, looking for food. Flynn, the most reckless of the group, notices Betty sitting with her boyfriend and decides to stir up trouble. He swaggeringly approaches their table and tries to flirt with her. The couple initially ignores him, but when he persists, they tell him to back off. Unable to handle the rejection, Flynn becomes aggressive and starts harassing Betty. Just as a fight is about to break out, Hoag and his crew step in. Hoag scolds Flynn, forces him to leave the couple alone, and apologizes to Betty and Driver, reminding Flynn not to cause trouble where they eat. But the couple's ordeal is far from over. Later that night, as they drive home, Flynn ambushes them, smashing through the car window and causing a crash. Convinced that the couple must be rich and carrying valuables, he steals their vehicle and drives it back to the gang's hideout. Flynn plans to use their belongings to access Driver's bank account and ropes Ethan into his scheme. Hoag, however, is furious and warns Flynn that one more mistake will cost him his life. Meanwhile, Driver and Betty slowly regain consciousness, only to find themselves tied to chairs inside a gas station, completely at the gang's mercy. Ethan soon arrives at the gas station and holds a dagger to Betty's throat, threatening to kill her, but instead of pleading for her life, Betty calmly tells Driver she'll see him in the afterlife, then pushes her neck into the blade, ending her own life. Enraged by her death, Driver snaps his restraints, attacks Ethan, and brutally kills him. Meanwhile, back at the gang's hideout, Flynn rummages through Driver's car, finding only his wallet and a few useless papers. When he opens the trunk, he notices 2 small holes in a panel, and to his shock, a pair of eyes staring back at him. Behind the false wall, he discovers a young girl trapped inside. Startled but curious, Flynn and Tamara struggle to pull her out and drag her into the house, while the rest of the gang watches in confusion. As the girl is brought in, she begins screaming hysterically, warning everyone to run for their lives. She explains that the man who owns the car, the one they've just crossed, is extremely dangerous. Her words send chills through the room as she warns them that Driver is already on his way to kill every one of them. At that moment, Amber rushes downstairs, saying they haven't been able to reach Ethan. The girl looks at her gravely and says Ethan must already be dead. Following Hoag's command, Denny and Tamara drive to the gas station to check on Ethan. When they arrive, they're met with a horrifying scene. Ethan's lifeless, blood-covered body sprawled across the floor and Betty's corpse nearby. Driver, however, is nowhere to be found. Shaken, they load Ethan's body into their van and return to the gang's hideout. Back at the house, Amber gives the rescued girl some clean clothes. As the girl changes, Amber notices deep scars on her body, identical to the ones Betty had earlier, revealing that Betty was one of Driver's more recent victims. Suddenly, Amber recognizes the girl from television. She is Emma Ward, the wealthy heiress from the film's opening scene, who went missing after 14 of her friends were slaughtered at a party. The killer behind that massacre was none other than Driver himself. To make matters worse, the Ward family is offering a $2 million reward for anyone who can bring Emma back safely. Moments later, Denny and Tamara return with grim expressions and deliver the devastating news of Ethan's death. Overcome with rage, Hoag vows to hunt Driver down no matter what it takes. After Flynn and Denny carry Ethan's body to the shed, a shocking twist unfolds. The supposedly dead body suddenly moves. Driver emerges from inside Ethan's corpse, revealing that he had hidden himself within it all along. Meanwhile, Emma fights back against the gang and makes a desperate attempt to escape, but Hoag catches her before she can get away. In that moment, Emma spots Driver outside, drenched in blood, silently watching them. She looks at Hoag and says she'll wait right there until Driver finishes what he came to do, killing them all. Driver cleans himself up, changes into fresh clothes, and arms himself with an arsenal of weapons before heading back to the gang's hideout. As Hoag and his crew step outside to confront him, a steel arrow suddenly shoots through the air and impales Hoag's chest. Denny is struck next, caught by another of Driver's deadly traps. Chaos erupts as Flynn and Tamara fire wildly into the darkness, unaware that Driver has rigged the entire area with traps. Realizing they're outmatched, they retreat inside in a panic. Denny bleeds heavily, and with their leader gone, tension explodes between Tamara and Flynn. Tamara insists they need to take Denny to a hospital, but before they can act, Driver detonates an explosive, blowing up their van and cutting off any chance of escape. Driver eventually captures Hoag, bringing the confrontation to a brutal end. Consumed by vengeance, he drags Hoag to a meat grinder and begins torturing him mercilessly. As Hoag writhes in agony, Driver calmly tells him he's not a serial killer. He's a psychopath who enjoys killing entire groups. With chilling composure, Driver shoves Hoag into the grinder, shredding him to pieces and ending his reign of terror once and for all. Back at the house, Amber questions Emma about why she's the only survivor from the massacre. Emma quietly replies that the Driver may have fallen in love with her. A flashback reveals the twisted truth. Driver had locked Emma in a room, telling her she would live only as long as he did. He claimed that only he could truly free her. Then, in a disturbing act, he slit his own throat and taught Emma how to save him, forcing her to bring him back to life. It's revealed that Emma was the one who kept him alive all along. With their van destroyed and Hoag dead, tension rises inside the house. Amber and Tamara get into a violent argument, but before it escalates further, someone knocks on the door. The group freezes. When they cautiously open it, they see a bag hanging outside. Flynn notices Hoag's ring attached to it and angrily kicks it, only for chunks of Hoag's flesh to spill out onto the ground. The gang recoils in horror, realizing Driver is sending them a message. Panicking, Denny and Amber come up with a plan to escape using an old, broken-down Jeep in the garage. They manage to reach it, but the engine refuses to start, forcing Denny to step out and repair it. Just as he finishes, Driver suddenly appears and brutally attacks him. Amber screams and bolts into the woods, with the psychopath chasing close behind. She doesn't make it far before Driver catches her and stabs her with a massive knife. Her screams echo through the night as Flynn and Tamara, terrified and helpless, decide not to intervene and instead focus on escaping. Seeing Denny barely clinging to life in the garage, Tamara breaks down in tears, realizing their nightmare isn't over yet. She and Flynn try to carry Denny with them, desperate to find a way out before Driver comes for them too. While fleeing in the Jeep, Flynn suddenly hits something on the dark road. It's Amber, who appears out of nowhere. The impact kills her instantly. Shaken but still focused on survival, Flynn and Tamara rush Denny to a hospital and leave him at the front gate before speeding off again, desperate to stay ahead of Driver. Exhausted and paranoid, they decide to rest for the night at the highway motel. the very same place where the story began. When Flynn uses Driver's credit card to pay for the room, the suspicious receptionist quietly calls the sheriff, reporting the odd transaction and the strange behavior of the couple. Later, while Tamara is in the shower, Flynn begins to harass Emma. Thinking fast, Emma pretends to go along with him, then excuses herself to the bathroom, terrified but determined to survive. There, fueled by her hatred for Flynn, Tamara secretly gives Emma her gun, offering her a slim chance to fight back. Before Flynn can carry out his twisted intentions, the sheriff arrives at the motel and confronts him, asking for identification. Without hesitation, Flynn pulls out a weapon and kills the sheriff with a single brutal strike, plunging the night into chaos once more. Meanwhile, Driver climbs through the bathroom window and silently catches Tamara off guard, choking her to death. Emma realizes what happened and bolts from the room in terror. Flynn spots her trying to escape and runs after her, but before he can reach her, Driver slams into him with a car, sending him flying across the lot. Emma grabs a gun and fires at Driver, determined to end it once and for all, but her weapon soon clicks empty. She's out of bullets. Panic floods her veins as Driver charges toward her, begging her to accept him as if their twisted connection still mattered. Refusing to give in, Emma grabs a metal pipe and strikes him with all her strength. Just then, Flynn, somehow still alive, appears with a shotgun and fires. Driver shoves Emma out of the way and takes the shot himself, surviving thanks to a Kevlar vest hidden under his clothes. What follows is a brutal, close-quarters fight between the two men, each fighting to the death. As Flynn gains the upper hand and prepares to finish Driver off, Emma smashes him from behind, knocking him unconscious. She seizes the shotgun and declares that she alone will end Driver's life. Trembling but resolute, she aims the weapon straight at him. But when she pulls the trigger, nothing happens. She's forgotten to chamber the next round, leaving her defenseless before the monster she tried to destroy. Moved by Emma's bravery, Driver approaches her calmly and tells her she's finally free. He then takes out a knife and slices open her stomach to remove a small tracking device that had been used to locate her throughout the ordeal. Emma lies helpless on the ground as Driver picks up the shotgun once more and executes Flynn without hesitation. Unfortunately for him, the motel receptionist witnesses the killing. Without a second thought, Driver turns and murders him too, ensuring no witnesses are left behind. The next morning, Driver heads to the hospital, where Denny is recovering. He quietly enters the room and coldly kills Denny by pressing a clipboard against his throat. Meanwhile, a news report plays in the background, claiming that Emma had been kidnapped by Hoag's gang all along, painting Driver as just another shadow in the chaos. Before leaving, Driver sees Emma being wheeled into the same hospital on a stretcher. He walks over, gently touches her hand for a moment, and then turns away, disappearing without a word. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.